Hey, Slash AJ Buckaroos, how the heck are you? I'm going to be Tom the Beer and Whiskey Whisper for the purpose of this video. And boy, I've had a long couple weeks. I only got 2 days off um, in a row. Put in a lot of hours the last 2 weeks getting through the holidays, getting through Christmas, and then the New Year's Eve. And I am beat, but I did want to come home and drink a little bit. Let me make an adjustment here. There we go. We're in business. So I kind of did a last minute thing what I was going to have here. Got home from work and only had a few minutes put together. I decided to grab some Springfield Brewing Company products. Well, Springfield Brewing Company and Tiaki Dow is what I decided to go with. I have the 2023 last year's Azari Night, Bon Zari Night, bourbon barrel aged Russian Imperial Stout with cocoa nibs and espresso. So let's open that right in front of you. And then I've got a couple products I'm going to have with it, a couple accompaniments. Look how beautifully that beer pours, man. That's just gorgeous. Just there we go. That's better. Get it all in there in my SBC glass. Springfield Brewing Company. Oh yeah, cocoa, espresso. What's not to like? So I also have their Hinterland from Tiaki Dollar Hinterland Bourbon Cream. So it's a bourbon whiskey finished in maple syrup barrels with rum and natural flavors. So actually, I'm not even going to measure. We're just going to pour. Yeah, looks like 2 ounces to me, ish. Yeah, a little bit more. It's been a long night, man. Let's put that up. I think I'm actually going to start with a drink of that. Oh yeah, this is a nice, really nicely done bourbon cream. Works great in your coffee. Whereas it makes a hell of a coffee creamer, man. Oh yeah, that's delicious. Oh. Yeah, I use this as part of coffee through the holidays. My coffee. I use this as my creamer, but I'd also add about an ounce of the Hinterland bourbon as well. So use this as the creamer. Then add so let's say Irish coffee inspired. God, hillbilly coffee since we're here in the Ozarks. The stuff is just made very well. It's really good, man. Picked up some bourbon cream while we were on when we were on vacation. Bourbon maple cream from Hard Truth, and man, I went through that quick because it was just delicious. But this is very similar. Man, that is just good. I don't care who you are. Oh, so we made it through Thanksgiving. We made it through Christmas. We made it through Festivus. We made it through Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever you might be celebrating. Yeah, whatever it is, man. And now on to the new year. And I feel like I can finally start to relax a little bit, but not a stretch at work. I've been putting in most of the shifts, but now I can take a breather. Not that I'm complaining, mind you. I like working most of the shift, but I am ready for a couple of days off in a row. Gonna relax my elbows. I was really hurting tonight. And again, that decision, it came down to, do you want to take a muscle relaxer and go to bed, or you want to have a little alcohol, relax? See, having a little bit of alcohol it helps take the edge off too. It's not just the effects of it; it's relaxing and drinking. Picking out the right pouring. That helps get everything back to zen. Get it back to zen, man. Helps bring it back to zen. Let me set that down for a second and focus on this beer for a minute. This one's aged about a year. I did buy this year's, but I bought a lot last year. This year, so far this year, I don't only have picked up 1 4-pack. Last year, I bought a case of it. So I've got a few cans left, which is why I decided to have one with you. But I do need to do a side by side of last year's and this year's, because it's just a good product, man. Definitely feel those cocoa notes, those espresso notes. And that bourbon barrel imparts a few things too. You might pick out some extra vanilla in there. The stout itself won't have any fruity esters, but the being barrel aged, it may pick up some fruit notes. It wouldn't be unusual if you were to find some raisin. Man, that's nice. That's just nice, man. Finish up my bourbon cream here. And I'm going to pour another accompaniment, if you will. I've got their double barrel rye whiskey finished in stout barrels. I hadn't had this. I've had a couple other of the double barrel products from Tiaki Dog, but I hadn't had this one in stout barrels. So I was really intrigued. It is just delicious. And I'm just going to drink or neat, man. It's late. I'm tired. We ain't messing around with cocktails. Well, not to start with, anyway. You got to get something to take that edge off right away. So that's what we're doing here. Let's pour a little bit neat. Show you that bottle one more time there. The double barrel. Oh, focus on this beer a minute. I did work New Year's Eve, but I was off. Well, technically, we're supposed to close at 7, but it took a little bit of encouragement to get some folks out the door. It was probably about 8:30 before I got home. It was after 9 before I even was able to start drinking. So I didn't make it to midnight this year because, well, I only had 3 hours to go, man. It was easy, but I was tired, man. But working, uh, boy, that Monday before Christmas was a big day. Well, typically closed on Tuesdays, but we decided to go ahead and open for New Year's Eve. Man, that was huge. It felt like everybody was there. All the regulars were there, man. But now we're getting into. I didn't expect today to be as busy as it was, to be honest with you, because of New Year's Eve, and but there was some impending weather here. I think that was getting folks out. I think folks were worried they're going to be in their house for more than a day. Decided they were going to get out one last time. We were busy. Like I said, I got the next 2 off, kind of relax, unwind, take it easy. If all goes well, I won't have to put clothes on all weekend. I hope just to stay in my pajamas or sweats all weekend, man. Maybe buy a couple cheap movies and get a couple old cheap movies. Just relax, man. That's my new thing. I don't even want to go out on my days off much anymore. I used to, that's all I wanted to do. But now that I'm socializing for a living, I want to stay in. Want to hole up, man. Oh my God. The nose on that is just crazy good, man. Oh man. The stout. See, I wasn't sure how much those stout casts would impart, but you almost feel these chocolatey notes, and I would have to say would come from that stout cask. Man, that's gorgeous. Got that little bit of spice running through. There's a lot of vanilla coming through here as well. But again, I'm getting almost, I said chocolate, I believe, but I'm thinking more of a fudge like note. I never drank rye growing up. Dad always said he didn't like rye. So, being obedient children, if dad didn't like something, you didn't like it either. So, I was actually probably well in my 30s before I'd ever even tried rye. And I was probably well in my 40s before I ever tried a good quality rye. And it was probably in my 50s before I really started to be able to appreciate them. It's only been really in the last 3 years that I've started to really kind of get a handle on it. And I buy some good quality ryes and just enjoy them, not necessarily compare them to the bourbon because it's a different animal. But I've been buying a lot of different ryes. I bought one on vacation that sadly is gone now. It was a maple finished rye that's just insanely good. A rich rye finished in maple barrels and from Echo Spirits out of Columbus, Ohio. And I got to tell you, if you ever get out that way, you got to stop and visit. Echo Spirits ain't playing, man. They are absolutely gorgeous. Hard truth. Oh my gosh, I bought their sweet mash rye at Cask. Now I wish I had bought two bottles because it went fast. It was really good, man. The bourbon is good, don't get me wrong, but that rye was just insane, man. Oh man. Didn't buy as much locally around the holidays this year as I have in the past, largely because I spent so much on vacation and bought so many products that I couldn't justify buying a lot. But I did buy a couple things. Like I said, I bought the Hinterland Bourbon Cream, bought the Hinterland Maple Finished Bourbon, and also this Rebel Barrel Rye locally. But I've had some amazing products, man. Some of them by accident. This one here, another beautiful rye I found by accident. The Neely Sweet Thumped Kentucky Straight Rye Whiskey at 110.8. Man, damn, I wish I had about two of these little bottles. They were about 40 a piece. Kind of seemed expensive at the time, but at the time I think, well, I'm probably never going to be here again. So I went ahead and got that one in there. Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, or Weeded Bourbon. They were kind of special, deals. limited edition, something like that. Anyway, so I bought those two. But when I got them home and tried them, I said, "Oh my God, this stuff is amazing." All right, let me get back to this rye for a second. See how it plays off of that. Oh man. Oh, they're so gorgeous. That's good, man. I do have prescribed muscle relaxers, but that's one thing they can't do is make you feel that. I mean, that's part of, the relaxation product is the pour, checking the nose, just relaxing, having a little bit and enjoying it all. That's probably why alcohol has always been my drug of choice because I love every stage of it. Other things do you know help in other ways, but it's not always about the effect, right? It's about, again, and for me, it's picking out the right one for that mood, getting that right pour, checking the nose, putting the pairing together. All of that adds to the relaxation. It's all part of a process. But since I am off tomorrow, I am planning on putting some of that bourbon cream in my coffee anymore. 'Cause I don't plan on doing a damn thing other than fixing breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And it may not be lunch, it may just be, late breakfast, slightly early dinner. Sometimes my wife and I just do the two meals. Ugh. But I do have a really good chuck roast. Weather's cooling down here, so it's roast weather. So I'm gonna cook that chuck roast down. My dad always roasted it high temp, cook fast, but I prefer braising. Put a nice sear on each side. I take it out, and then I get my veg going in there. Put some stock in there, and then put that roast back on top, and just put it in the oven with the lid on, and just let it slowly get happy. So I think that's what I'll do tomorrow. To just braise that chuck roast. It's not a big roast. It's only I think it's only about 2.5 pounds. It's not a big roast, but it's just the wife and I, so it's gonna be plenty. So it won't take very long to cook anyway, even low and slow. But I do prefer that method. I feel like you get more flavor than cranking that heat up than 400 for 40 minutes, right? I feel like braising, you really get the goodness out of everything, not just the meat, but the veg as well. Because you've got the potatoes, the carrots, and the roast all becoming part of the stock, which makes beautiful gravy. And my wife's not a huge fan of gravy, but for me, it's all about the gravy, baby. Because she'd be happy if I just left the juice, but I gotta have gravy, man. As a kid, I never had a roast without having gravy. You gotta have that gravy, baby. But I've learned a lot of folks in this neck of the woods don't do the gravy thing. They like the juice, the broth, the stock. And I've seen that to the further south you get. Well, my dad grew up on a farm in South Dakota. If imparted in all of his children that you gotta have gravy, man. But I think, in all honesty, of the five of us kids, I think I'm really probably the only one of the five that has to have the gravy. Gotta have the gravy, baby. Gotta have the gravy. Gravy is the only thing that saves potato. You gotta have the gravy. But then my wife's okay with just a mash with some butter. Gotta have the gravy. Gotta have it. No, you need that, man. My sisters were like that too. They were okay with just the mashed potatoes and butter. But even as a kid, where's the gravy, man? Dad knew I always had to have the gravy, but he did too. So it's taking me longer to drink this than I anticipated. So I'm probably gonna wrap this up shortly. Mercy. Finish my whiskey here. I'm gonna pour myself just a tad bit more of this bourbon cream. It really tasted good. It is 19% or 38 proof if you're keeping score. But boy, man, it is a top quality product, I gotta tell you. So anyway, I am Tom, the beer whisperer, beer evangelist, prolific beer drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and oh man, this stuff is so good. Ah. Sludge. I'm also Tom, the whiskey whisperer, whiskey evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and let me show you this bottle one last time, man. This stuff is just insanely good. Damn, that's good. All around good guy, Slancher. Thanks for tuning in, guys.